Traditional sweet recipes from Malta, available online at www.traditionalmaltesesweets.com. Traditional sweet recipes, creating a small slice of Malta that feels like home.
Għal-ġimoħri jena Marlin Xikluna insellmilkom u nirringrazzjakom li qed terġgħu tingħaqdu magħna għall-programm Maltese DownUnder bi produzzjoni mill-Belt ta' Melbourne. Fil-programm illum ser immorru fi New South Wales fejn ser nitkellmu ma' Derry Sultana u ma' Albert Vella, kif ukoll fil-Victoria fejn ser naqgħukom ma' Luca Taliana. L-ewwel intervista tagħna llum ser toħodna fil-faċilità ta' Guide Dogs Victoria fejn il-kollega tiegħi Mark Avellino ser jitkellem ma' Luca Taliana, Malti li għal dawn l-aħħar sentejn kien propju f'Melbourne jitħarreġ fit-training tal-klieb gwida.
I always had a fascination with dogs. The first dog I joined this dog school back in Malta, and well, technically I tried to learn as much as I can, but back then the education didn't provide anything relevant to dog behavior and psychology and all that. So I just tried doing what I can, and I had my instructor there teaching me and all that, but it only got me to a certain point. However, later on in life I found work and I started working, but I still had my hobby of having my own dog and trying stuff with him, you know, trying to teach him tricks, get him out and learn. It came to a point where I went back to school and I met an English writing teacher of mine, and he knew that I was into dog training and all that, and he also was in contact with the Maltese Guide Dogs Foundation, who at the time were looking for help with their puppies to supervise and train them. So we got in contact with them, and they asked for my help. You must also realize that before that I started also to train dogs on my own behalf and other clients and all that, and try somehow to learn and help other people back in Malta. So by that time I had quite some general knowledge. I wouldn't say good knowledge, but at least enough to get me going. And yeah, so the Maltese Guide Dogs Foundation accepted me as a puppy raising supervisor, which I happily did, and tried to improve the situation and improve the puppy raising program. Eventually, they also wanted me to supervise their working dogs. Back then I had no experience in working dogs, and I tried as best I could, but really when I came here I realized how much I knew nothing of. So the Maltese Guide Dogs Foundation tried to actually is still trying to get into the IGDF, the International Guide Dogs Federation, and in order to do that we do need accredited staff members, which we do not have in Malta.
Okay.
So you know, back in the day in Malta it used to be that the only job that you could get full-time on dogs was basically being a vet. I remember being told that when I was a kid, and listening to all the other kids saying, I want to be a vet, I want to be a vet, I want to train, I want to work with dogs. So the only thing they could do is be a vet. However, because I always had it as a hobby and I somehow always accepted the opportunity, then the Maltese Guide Dogs Foundation basically accepted me to be sent over here, get the qualification so that I can actually go back, train dogs there, properly train them, qualify them, and certify them as guide dogs so that we can help improve our visual impaired situation and provide dogs on the island itself.
Wow. So the thing that intrigues me is from all the places in the world that you could have ended up, you couldn't have picked possibly one of the furthest places. So why Australia? Why did it end up being Australia?
So there was already a relationship between Australia and Malta, and the bonds were pretty good. But Guide Dogs Victoria provides a really high quality standard dogs to their clientele all over Australia, not just in Australia, and also internationally. So you know, they send dogs over to other countries and all that, which is really good. So we saw potential in it that they could provide me with the right education, which indeed I am very happy to have been here, because I do believe that I've been provided with, you know, really good solid knowledge and education and practicals and all that. So in that sense, I guess, yeah, we are pretty adamant that Guide Dogs Victoria was good, because you know, we had already established the connection there, but we also wanted someone to take us to the right direction, which they happily did. And yeah.
So what is a typical day for you here working with the dogs? You know, like, you know, I can imagine it can have quite a bit of variety.
Yeah, it's most people's dream, I guess. Yeah, so wake up in the morning, come here. First thing you do is basically get your dogs out of the kennel, toilet your dogs and all that. So in the initial part, you're gonna see a lot of poo and pee around, but that's all right. That's all in the job. Actually, you know, it's really important though. And so cleaning is first thing you do. Then, and about half an hour after you fed them and everything in the morning, we start. If you're still in the early stages of training, we start by coming out here on campus and actually do the training around campus. But after about 2 or 3 weeks into training, we start loading them in the van, getting out, starting from residential areas to semi-residential, to business, semi-business, and ultimately in the city, and do our sessions there, one dog at a time. Sometimes it may vary. Sometimes it may be a 15-minute training session, a 5-minute training session, or sometimes even all up to 45 minutes. Depends on what your dog needs and what you need to train the dog to do.
So when you head back to Malta sort of next year, what's going to be one of the first things that you find yourself doing there? Do you know at this stage? Or?
Yeah, so there's a lot we need to do, and we're already on the right track. We've already have established a quite good pup raising system. We have clientele. So what's really important is that we're not just going to provide guide dogs, but we're also going to provide mobility and orientation for our clients, white cane use, independent travel and all that. So I'm not just going to mainly on providing dogs. However, that will be one of my main focuses. So when going there, I'm going to be, looking after our puppy raising scheme. I'm going to be looking after our guide dog training scheme, our clients and all that. And with not just me, I also have a colleague of mine. So she's also helping me, and she has much more experience than me when it comes to orientation and mobility. And she helps a lot, and she's a hard worker. So yeah, I'm going to basically be doing most of the stuff we do here.
What's the expected demand in Malta for those sort of services?
I'd say for guide dog work, it's about 2 clients per year.
Wow. Okay.
So really, in comparison to Guide Dogs Victoria, it's very minimal. Yeah. But then we have over 7,000 visually impaired people there, and I'm not counting the ones that aren't registered. So we have quite a huge pool to get our clients from and to help them. So yeah, we have every kind of need, from guide dog requirements to white cane requirements, orientation, acquired brain injury, and child vision impairment, which is something we haven't really properly focused on, and we are looking to really do that.
One of the things that does come to mind when I hear about people that do this type of work with animals of any sort is you get a bond between yourself and the animals, and of course they're not supposed to be pets, are they, for you? So what's it going to be like when you have to go back to Malta?
All right, let's debunk a fact.
Yeah.
Yes, they still are kind of like a pet. That's a kind of an old mentality that it's a job. We should have this emotional barrier and all that. Now, I get attached to my dogs a lot, and it's because of that fact that I do get attached to my dogs that I really try to make the best of them. And not only that, but then I try to really make a good match, so that I know that I'm going to give my dog to someone who will look after my dog. It's not my dog, it's the foundation's dog, it's the client's dog, but yeah, I care for it, and that is why a matching process should be there. It's hard. Look, in the initial stages, it was kind of hard for me too, and especially for puppy raisers who spend 1 year with them. When they have to separate from them in order so that their dogs commence training, they're heartbroken. And it's understandable. They become part of the family. I'm sure everybody at home here knows that. If you have a dog, you love that dog. You can't live without it. It's really hard. But in the end, I think the satisfaction you get out of seeing the product, and in terms of the dog you've created, and the motivation you've created for a blind person and a visually impaired person to go out and experience the world as he's never seen before, I think that's all worth it.